really chilled about it. Basically, sort of just stay really easy. Stay in the moment. If I can do that, then you know, the outcome will take care of itself. Win or lose, it really doesn't matter. What matters is your attitude towards the outcome. And I've got a feeling that if your attitude towards the outcome, no matter what the result is positive, chances are that you will more than likely win more than lose. And or even if it is the same as what you're normally used to, it still doesn't matter because you're not making it harder for yourself. You're just you know playing the game, participating, which is very very important, and you are playing the game that you love. Um, no matter what that is, it doesn't have to be FIFA. It could be anything. So, it's really not about win or lose, because you're a winner already because you're participating. So, I remember when I was a kid, it's like sometimes, when I've organized tournaments, I have too many players. So, everyone wants to be a winner, everyone wants to play. You could tell they're like, you know, their eyes are like, you know, excited about, just playing, just participating. I would even have girls mixed team all the time. And I've used to have one of my best friends was a girl, and she used to back when I was in primary school back in Europe, and she used to enjoy playing. Why? It's because it's like she feels part of the team. And I always used to say to her, it's okay if you miss the tackle, it doesn't matter. It's just about doing your bit as much as to the best of your capabilities, and then let it go. So the reason why I was saying that is because I didn't want her to quit. Just because she's not as good as someone else, for example. Because so we naturally do. We compare ourselves to someone else, but the thing is, you don't have all the data to compare yourself with. And that's unfair comparison. Like 9 out of 10, it's always unfair comparison. Actually, 10 out of 10 because you never have the right data. So it might seem that way that someone else is a better player, but how do you know the trajectory or the potential that you might have and that more perceived better performer? Um, you just don't know. So it's why you never judge the book by its cover. Never. Because if you do, it's at your own peril, meaning that you will end up probably more than likely looking like a jackass yourself. So it's always better to have an open book, and just be present, stay in the moment. And I've got a feeling that really high achievers do that really well. When I was watching Australian Open just the other day, and who was yeah, it was Djokovic versus this other guy, Tommy Paul, I think, the new American young gun. Well, he's not that young; he's 25. But then, for example, or the greatest player ever played. One of them is Roger Federer. He didn't really become Roger Federer until he was like 24 or something like that. So you can turn around very quickly for the better or for the worse. You just don't know. The main thing is enjoy, participate, and then the rest will take care of itself. And it's not your choice that if you're going to be a champion or not. So the champions cannot exist without people around you, other competitors. And you want to call them losers, but they're not losers. For example, a lot of people will call those people losers, but then, if you ask someone like Djokovic or Nadal or Federer, they would never call someone who they've beaten a loser. They would just say, bad luck. Like they would say, like, you can play better on the day. That's all they would say. They would just say, let the better man win for the day. So it's never them saying, hey, like this is an easy game, because when I was watching Djokovic play against Tommy Paul, I kept thinking, like this is, the first set was like just too easy. The guy was, it's not like Tommy Paul was playing bad. He was actually playing a really good game, and he was actually, when you look at he actually has, believe it or not, he actually has more firepower and more ability. It seemed like it, but he kept losing games, and he kept losing he actually lost control of the game. And he got broken every time. Why? It's because Djokovic took his opportunities. That's the only difference. And then on the scoreboard, it looked really bad for Paul, but it wasn't that bad actually. He was very close. And then Djokovic lost his cool, which is unusual, but that's what he used to do when he was younger. And then hence it took him a while to become who he is. But he fixed that up really quick though. It took him 2 or 3 years. But he was number 3 for a while before he actually started, playing really well. And he lost his cool with a towel, so he didn't know, he miscommunicated the rules, or he misinterpreted the rules about the towel, that, the ball boys and girls can't, hand over the towel anymore. So here he is, complaining to the umpire, lost his cool, and then the crown went behind the umpire, because, hey, stop complaining, just play. No one likes watching people complain. And when the fans boo someone, they're booing it because subconsciously they just they did not pay to watch other people complain. They paid to watch the tennis. So anyway, he lost his cool, and believe it or not, he almost lost the set. He actually, to be honest, he actually was lucky that he didn't lose that set completely, because he actually deserved to lose that set, if you think about it. Because it was a set with 2 halves, and Tommy, I got a feeling was, I had a feeling Tommy was had a bit of bad luck, because the break points that Djokovic had, he maximized them straight away, and that's what champions do. But anyway, he got lucky, and he took it, and he saved that set. That normally, if it was any other player, they would have lost that set. But the contrast was dramatic. He lost his mind, basically. He wouldn't say that he wouldn't say that bluntly, but he lost his cool, he lost his mind, and he basically wasn't the same player at all. This is why I watch sports. I like soccer, but the biggest thing I get out of it is the mentality of us as human beings, and how fragile we are, and what the difference is between a champion, we call a champion, and someone who is not a champion. The difference is tiny, and most of it, believe it or not, is in the mind. So I have watched Djokovic for years, and he doesn't have, nothing stands out nothing is a massive weapon for him. Consistency, yeah, now, you can say consistency now, but it's the fact that he is a diehard. He does not want to give up. Mentally, I'm talking about here. He just keeps going. He grinds out every single match. And the good thing about him as well is that he keeps his worst, if you ignore him losing his mind, when he is sharp, his mentality, he basically his performance doesn't drop much at all. While it's hard for other players who might have a better weapon than him, like for example, serves or whatever, they seem to have a better peak, but they can't maintain it for too long. And that's normal because, you know, you can't serve at 220 k's an hour every single time without exhaustion. So that's what happened, and it's just I loved watching momentum swings because it's interesting how champions, or one of the great players ever in tennis, deals with momentum swings. It's super interesting because for me, it's just amazing to watch. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. But, you know, for me, it's more than just a sport. For me, it's the way of life, you know, like, to be honest, what these greats do in sport is they chuck, you know, everything in one basket. But obviously, with the society we live in, it's worth it because they get paid well to do their job. But at the same time, is it really worth it? Because you don't see your family much at all. So, you know, however you want to look at it, there's always a negative and there's always a positive. The positive is he doesn't have to, you know, think about financial side of things. He's got everything set. He just, you know, just pays someone else to take care of that. But at what cost? There's a massive cost to it as well. You know, like players like that, you know, their families growing up and they're not, you know, most of the time they're not there. So it's hard, and he keeps talking about it. He keeps mentioning it at press conferences and stuff. But you know, you can't have everything. You know, you pay for glory. Glory is expensive. Yes, you get, you know, the financial backing of it is great, but it's a double-edged sword in a way, because mentally you're not with your family, you're not there, because, you know, if you're physically not there, you're mentally not visible. So, you know, it's not easy. And it's, you know, it's a nucleus. The whole family nucleus needs to support you at what you do. And it does take a lot of energy, life energy. And it's just the way it is. So, you know, you can't really change the outcome. Like, for example, this game, you know, like, lost this game, but I didn't lose it because, you know, I wasn't trying. I lost it because it's, you know, he took his opportunities and I didn't. Simple as that. He deserves the victory. No matter what the result is at the end of the day, there is a reason why the result is the way it is. And if you complain about it, you will just make it worse for yourself, and you won't learn much, because you're just sitting there complaining about the past and what's just transpired. Or you can, you know, play the rest, whatever time left is of the game, you can play it and you can get better at it. Simple as that. You can always look forward to something new, keep at it, and, you know, go for it. Mbappe again. He's had some seriously good plays, this guy. Definitely deserves it. Okay, Mbappe. Good player. Just want to see one of his last goals. Yeah, it's really good. Get down. Look what he's done. So he received a pass there, and he's like 3 defenders around me. No fuss. I get this done every single time. I get this done. And then all he does is just kicks it. Wow, what a straight shooter, man. Power. Goalkeeper didn't even see it. Made my goalkeeper look like an amateur, even though he's an icon. Oh well. All I want to do is, win one more game so I can get to 45, and then it's pretty good from there. Yeah, see you next game. Sign out.